The Penguins gracious in defeat as we look at their playoff notes in the Mike Sullivan era during these cup runs. 2 straight cups, Crosby with both Conn Smythe. They won 9 straight series. They hadn't lost a series in over 1,100 days. And Crosby's numbers, ridiculous. 67 points. Crosby and Gensel led the way with 23 goals. That is the Stanley Cup playoffs. Sidney Crosby was asked the question, and he deflected it in a gentle way, that he didn't give much thought to the fact that, they'd won 2 and this was a chance to 3-peat, and that's a rare opportunity. It's extraordinary. It took 20 years for an NHL champion to go back-to-back. It was the Wings in 97 and 98 and these Penguins. You guys can look at it with perspective. It's remarkable in this era what the Penguins did. What's the most impressive thing about it?
I think it's looking back to the 2008 season when they lost to the Detroit Red Wings in the finals. They've had 4 finals appearances in 10 years.
Boom.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. And those other teams that have done it in the past, I mean, we talk about with the kind of measuring stick in the recent NHL history has been Chicago Blackhawks, deservingly so, the LA Kings with 2 Stanley Cups. I think it might be the Pittsburgh Penguins. It has moved to that the last couple of years. But, I mean, that's remarkable. And I don't think this team's going anywhere. I think they're going to be back here for a while. As long as they've got their captain there, they've got Evgeny Malkin, they've got a great goaltender. I mean, this team might need a little time to decompress, but they'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely. You think of the amount of games. The record was 38 and 23. So you've played an extra 61 meaningful game in the last 2.5+ season. This is simply remarkable. It takes its toll on its body. Plus, you add to that the World Cup of Hockey, where Malkin played, where Matt Murray played, where Crosby played, where Phil Kessel played. So those guys have played a tremendous amount of hockey. So it takes its toll on the body. And I think that, perhaps that, Evgeny Malkin had the injury before the playoff or during the first round where he was in and out of the lineup. Phil Kessel, there seemed to be a little bit of gas lacking from what we saw from them last year. It's not a knock on the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're still a tremendous team, and I still have them as one of the Cup favorite for next year, and I think that most experts will probably say the same. Any team that has 71 and 87 to start with is going to be in the Cup contention regardless of where you're at. But, in order to transition, it's going to be good for them to take the time and realize how much it takes to get to the playoff, because sometimes when you win, you don't realize that the little inches that make the difference, the little intangible that perhaps they didn't have this year, they will need to get back in order to get back to that same level.
There's so many things that have to go right in winning a Stanley Cup, and health is the main concern. Evgeny Malkin and Phil Kessel, to me, were visibly not no one's 100%.
Yeah.
They were visibly not to their standard.
Sure.
So you got to deal with that. We know Jake Gensel was awesome. We know Sidney Crosby was awesome. Derek Brassard, I think that, in the Penguins fan community, is going to take a lot of abuse from this. Listen, Derek Brassard was okay for the Penguins. He wasn't great, maybe not what you expected when you got him, but this guy was also asked to play a completely different role than he had in his prior teams. He's a top 6 forward. Now he's getting bottom 6 minutes. And I thought he was good. There's still a ton of good things in place moving forward. Health, a comfortable Derek Brassard. This team will be back next spring, and they'll be back with a chip on their shoulder this time. So you got to look out for the Pens.